Hey everyone, happy full moon lunar eclipse. Before we dive in to all the specifics, I have a very cute story about these roses. So I've shared this before in content, but I feel like flowers, but especially roses, speak to me. I feel like I inherited that gift from my Baba, my mother's mother, who for me is like the definition of a goddess. So loving, so kind, so warm. She was a Sagittarius and she had the most beautiful garden. And she'd always talk to the plants, the produce, the flowers. And she's like, oh, there's nothing wrong with talking to them. You only have to be worried if they start talking back. And she'd always joke a lot in true Sagittarius fashion as well. But for her, there was always a strong, beautiful energy with life of all kinds. Very Demeter series energy. If you know, you know. So when I went to the shop yesterday to get some roses in preparation for the eclipse and for recording this video, I found the first pair of roses, which are like these beautiful white and red. And so I'm like, great, root chakra, crown chakra, purity, new beginnings. Makes sense with this eclipse. But then this morning, it was so loud in my head, everyone, like it was insane. It was like, go to Whole Foods, go to Whole Foods, go to Whole Foods. I'm like, I don't think I need any groceries. Like, why are you telling me to go there? And then I found this beautiful bouquet of white roses. And I'm like, oh, so there's even extra emphasis on this. And it's beautiful because it led the direction of where I want to go with this eclipse. So key themes that I'm going to be discussing are purity, and safety. Because the thing is, with eclipses, remember, they act as grand beginnings and grand endings. We have to be able to close or let go of something before we can start something new, right? If you just had a party, everyone left, and now you have this all the chalices filled with all these beautiful elixirs and potions and wine, you need to clean the goblets before you can have a new party and use those goblets again. You need to release, let go, clean, restore before that new being can begin. So with this, it's a lunar eclipse. So the light of the moon is being swallowed or eaten. So a lot of people always ask, can I charge my crystals? Can I manifest? Can I do rituals? What I've been experiencing across the board is that people are exhausted. What's going on collectively, what's going on in people's individual lives. Remember, we're all one collective consciousness. So if there's massive pain and contraction on a global level, it may or may not be affecting you directly in your life, but we're still feeling that at all times. So what I've heard from many people is that they didn't get a lot of sleep this week. Their mind has been racing, a restlessness energy, or they're just processing what's been going on throughout eclipse season over the past 3 to 4 weeks or so. So if that is you and you're trying to manifest, you're trying to do a ritual and you have no energy, that'd be like going into war, going into battle, because that's the power that rituals can have with no energy. And also, if you want to receive the benefits of that ritual, that spell, that manifestation, you need your body to be in a place to receive them. You need to be strong. You need to have vitality. You need rest. So you can do whatever you want. I'm not going to stop you. Most times it's considered on the eve and on the day of the eclipse, it's better to rest. It's better to see what's coming through your body, coming through spiritually, coming through intuitively. So then you know how to act. Because a lot of things could be shifting. You could be manifesting and putting all this energy towards one path, and then something brand new reveals itself. And then you might confuse yourself. You're like, well, I'm manifesting this. Or it might just be quote unquote a waste of time. You're putting all this energy into one path, and a new path is getting ready to be revealed in a couple of days. So take that if it resonates. Ideally, you just want to sit with your body. This is a full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus. Now, the moon is exalted in Taurus. The eclipse is going to be happening at approximately 1:24 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Saturday, October 28th. What this means is that with the moon being in strong dignity, I personally feel like it's going to be very loud, very obvious, where there is discomfort, where there is pain, where you're not wanting to move, where you're wanting to move. Remember that Taurus is ruled by Venus, and exalted in the moon. So if it does not bring us pleasure, if we do not feel good about it, you're not likely going to want to move. You're not likely going to want to do it. And there also might be certain situations in your life where you're feeling like you have to move or have to do things out of obligation. And I feel like that's being released with this eclipse. Remember, safety, purity, very, very strong with this eclipse. And there's many different timelines that are being closed with this eclipse, in my opinion. Remember that we had Venus's retrograde this summer. So mid-July to around beginning of September. Given that this is an eclipse ruled by Venus, just like the solar eclipse was in Libra, those themes that were going on throughout those summer months here in the Northern Hemisphere, so really June, July, August, September, there might be things that you're closing out, or there are things that are being released that you were facing quite intimately during that time. Secondly, this is also wrapping up the eclipse series that was going on between the axis of Taurus and Scorpio that was primarily being activated between January of 2022 and July of 2023. Now we see July is kind of doubly being activated, right? As when the nodes shifted from Taurus and Scorpio to Aries and Libra, and then also when that Venus retrograde was happening. So really pay attention to those timelines. A third timeline that you can look into is just since 2020, because there's been a lot of challenging aspects to fixed signs. Taurus is a fixed sign, and even if you don't have prominent Taurus energy, you might have prominent Scorpio, Aquarius, and Leo energy. So then that also has been strongly activated for 2020, 2021, 22 to 2023. Now, I'm not trying to confuse anyone, but I'm just saying that the importance of this eclipse is there might be multiple timelines or multiple programs, conditionings, or different types of energetic relationships that are being closed off in this moment. And yes, it can be a lot. Your body needs time to rest. And also for all my Scorpio angels, Scorpio suns specifically, the month before leading up to your birthday. So let's say you're born on November 1st, starting October 1st, leading up to your solar return, up to your birthday, it can be said to be in a dark moon phase or a contractive phase or a cocoon phase. Demetra George speaks about this in her book, Mysteries of the Dark Moon. Highly recommend if you have not had the opportunity to indulge in that beautiful wisdom. And this, of course, can apply to anyone who has their solar return a month before that solar return. Just know that a lot of things are being shed, released. There might be a contraction, there might be a call to more sleep. So we're going through all these eclipses, all these massive transformations. And if you are a Scorpio, then there's the extra layer of all of that coming in. Rest. Your body already knows. Your mind already knows. Your soul already knows. You already know. You know when things are out of alignment. You know when you don't feel good. Sometimes it's very loud because your body is run down, you're sick, you don't have the energy. Sometimes you're staying in a job, a relationship, a family dynamic out of obligation, out of programming, out of conditioning. You know your body's like, I don't want to do this. You might also, which I know is a contentious opinion, you might manifest getting sick to avoid going to a family function, to go on a date with someone, to show up in the office, whatever it is, because your body does not want to do that engagement, does not want to engage in the energetic contract. What do most humans do if they don't want to do something? If it's not a priority, they cancel. And sometimes they cancel for good reason, because they've overbooked or because they don't have the energy, right? They don't have the energy. They don't have the energetic capacity to engage with that person, which is fine. If you don't have time, you can't engage. But if you are run down, it's like you're going to have less time because you're now having to overcompensate for not listening to yourself early on. So this comes into the safety component that I really feel is being brought up with this full moon lunar eclipse. Because again, if we don't have the light, quote unquote, of the moon with this lunar eclipse, it's a greater invitation to go inward into your body, into your emotions, into your connection with the mother wound, the feminine. And so for everyone that's like, I need to work, I need to work, I need to work, we're just disrespecting the feminine even more if she's crying out for help, crying out for support, crying out for love and healing. What is majority of the world right now asking for? love and healing, peace, restoration, purity, a clean slate. It's all connected. If you're at war with yourself, I have to do this, I have to make this timeline, this budget, this, when what you really want to do is rest or go and play or do about anything else, the masculine and the feminine are going back and forth right now anyway. So how can we expect peace and healing and love on a global scale if we can't even honor our own balance between the masculine and the feminine? What does peace mean to you? What does that safety mean to you in your body? Remember, the moon is strongly linked with our body. How do you feel safe in your body? How do you feel safe in your relationships? How do you feel safe in your finances? There are additional journal prompts in the description of this video, but these are things to think about. And guess what? You're going to need time to journal, to feel, to really ask yourself these questions. I would personally, and I'm going to do this too. Where's my Versace journal? Right here. I'm also going to take time to journal out this weekend to allow my body to just write, like autonomic journaling. And I know it can maybe feel like another thing to add to the list. You're doing it for your soul. This can also be defined as self-care because you are giving yourself a chance to heal. You are making the feminine, the healing, the love, the restoration a priority. Now, if we're going on to purity. So Venus rules over Taurus. Venus is currently in Virgo, and this is actually a good time to bring up the chart just so I can show you all the transits. So as we said before, Saturday, October 28th at approximately 1:24 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So we have Venus in Virgo. So what's nice about this is that when the moon is done with this lunar eclipse, it is welcomed into the arms of both benefic planets, Jupiter in Taurus, Venus in Virgo. And there's going to be mutual reception here as well. I mean, the moon is already so strong, but it can help out Venus, given that Venus is the ruler of Taurus, right? So this can be something to look at in your chart. One, of course, look to the house ruled by Taurus to see where this major activation in terms of peace and purity, clarity is likely to be manifesting. But then also too, you can look to where Virgo is in your chart as well, because that Venus energy is also going to be activated. Remember, the Venus themes that you were going through during Venus retrograde is also a clue or greater soul food to process, to integrate, to digest with this eclipse as well. Now, if we're talking about Venus's aspects, she's making this opposition to Neptune and then a trine-based aspect to Pluto and then sextiles everything in Scorpio. So what can we do to break this down? Venus opposing Neptune. We're breaking through the illusion, the fantasy, the stories. Not that fantasy and illusion are bad, but sometimes we have to call a spade a spade. The other day I had someone message me and like, oh, hey, how's it going? And I'm like, fine. This was a past romantic interest from 6 months ago, Taurus season of this year, who ended up canceling on me and then ghosting completely, which is fine. But this was a test for me because sometimes I can be very overly optimistic. I'm like, well, I do the work, I do the healing. Maybe other people are doing it as well. Some people do that work. But in my case, it was very clear based on what I learned during Venus retrograde, just to advocate for myself. And when something isn't aligned, I don't need to give people this space just to be kind. I can know my worth and just keep it stepping respectfully, which is what I said. I'm like, you ghosted after canceling last minute. And now 6 months later, you're trying to bark up my tree, literally. He's like, no, it's not like that. Saying all the right things. And I'm like, intuitively, it's not a match. I wish you a good night. And then he blocked me. I'm like, exactly. That's for me an example of this Venus opposing Neptune, where the Neptune is like the fantasy. I'm like, oh, well, maybe it can work out. Maybe he did the work. The Venus in Virgo is like, listen, you know this isn't right. You've done the work. There's a very clear system and order here. They did not pass the test. Move on. And that's going to be different for everyone. That can be in terms of what you're investing and what you are putting aside for budget. That can be in terms of your health and your spiritual well-being. That can be taking on additional opportunities or responsibilities within your family over work. This is just something to identify yourself as where what is the fantasy or the illusion is actually lined up. Is it making you feel safe? Is it pure? Does it excite you? Does it feel grounded in your soul? And if not, it is not aligned. Now, this Venus-Pluto aspect as well is regarding power, abuse of power. Given that it's a trine, there's going to be something where, and this is for me where the purity piece comes in, is knowing your own power, knowing your own worth, so that you're not being forced to move, to go forward and do something you don't want to do because you already know what your gifts are. You're going to cultivate those gifts. You want to shine in those gifts. And it's something I see a lot in client work is that a lot of times clients don't give themselves enough credit, or they don't really believe that their gifts are something special. Like, well, everyone has that. I'm like, number one, not everyone has that. Secondly, the way that you disseminate that gift, the way that you share that gift with the world is only unique to you. No one else can do what you can do in that lens. And people are so hungry. They are so passionate. They want you to share that gift. If you are burnt out, exhausted, or seeking a different gift because you think that gift is more desirable, that's where the unalignment is. That's where the frustration collide. That's where the delays are happening because the gifts, you already have them. It is nurturing them. Going back to the garden analogy, it's like you already have all the dream crops. Everything is right here. We just have to tend to the garden. Sometimes it can be tedious in terms of weeding the garden, watering on a hot day when maybe you'd rather be at the beach or on a holiday. But that's where the bounty lies. That's where you're going to feel safe during the winter because you have all this beautiful produce to enjoy. That is your gift to the purity, your special gift that you possess, that you're wanting to cultivate. Once you cultivate that gift, once you acquire more power within that realm, it's going to grow, it's going to multiply. Not sure if any of you watched the OG Charmed or even the new one. These witches get bestowed powers, and those powers grow. And at first, they're a little awry with said powers. They don't know how to control those powers. There's a lot of trials, tribulations, sacrifice, and even death around them. They have to learn how to utilize these powers and respect these powers, even if it means giving up a normal life. What do you think most healers or people that are pursuing their true destiny, they're forgoing some mundane, normal things to pursue their dreams? It's not necessarily normal to do certain things to accomplish your dreams. When people are putting excessive hours or being obsessed with a certain topic to become a master, most people wouldn't consider that normal, but you are being called higher. There is more knowledge, there is more power to be had. And for me, that's the Venus Pluto energy that's coming through. Now, the sextile to all the Scorpio energy is really, for me, going even deeper. And that's something where I feel like, with regards to the peace, the purity, the safety components of this eclipse, where it's like, okay, why don't I feel safe in this type of career or in this type of dream or in this type of relationship? Why am I not doing more healing? Why am I not going deeper into the work? That's the Scorpio. That's the Venus Scorpio energy, where it is an invitation. If you're feeling stuck, Venus in Virgo is going to give you the resources. Trust and believe there are going to be books and courses and teachers and regimens and systems in place to help you succeed. And it's going to be things that you're going to want to do. However, it's going to take time. It's going to take sacrifice. For some, it's going to take some financial commitment. If you really want to heal, if you really want to do the work, it's going to be available. Like I said, once we pass through the exact eclipse, then the moon hits Jupiter. It's in trine to Venus. There's that energy with Uranus as well. There's going to be change. If you want to answer the call, that's up to you. You need to open the door to blessings. They're not going to force their way in. I've had a lot of people in terms of like friends or lovers where it's so obvious the blessing is so big. Sometimes that blessing is a free couch. Sometimes it's $10 they find on the ground, but they just rebuke it. They're like, well, no, I really want this. It's like, there's blessings all around you. And until you can really attune yourself to that frequency and be in that state where it's like, oh yeah, everything's already working out, I can just enjoy the ride a lot smoother and not get caught up on mundane, superfluous energies that are not in alignment for you. Safety, purity, peace. We added peace, it kept coming through. So, I mean, Venus is about to move into Libra on November 8th. So I think that is going to be a good omen across the board. Okay. So I know that's a lot of information, but of course you can rewind, go back to certain parts that resonated. I do want to end off our time today with a meditation just to ground back into the body. So whenever you're ready, you can close your eyes and ask your body if you want to be seated or if you want to lie down. Remember, there's no right or wrong answer. Just tap into what your body is saying. Now, when you're ready, taking a nice deep breath in and exhale. Continue breathing in and out, in and out. Focusing your energy into your heart, extending gratitude for yourself, giving gratitude for taking the time to be here, for doing this inner work. Allowing that love and self-appreciation to flow throughout your body and your auric field. And if you have love and gratitude to spare, sending it to people in your life that could use it, sending it to countries in the world that could use love, gratitude, peace, safety, and purity, knowing that we're all one. When one of us succeeds, we all succeed. Taking a moment now just to feel that love, gratitude, and appreciation expand and to be transported to those who could use it as well. Breathing in and exhale. Relaxing further into your body. Bringing your attention to your root chakra, the base of your spine. Imagining a beautiful red crimson light now emitting itself. Feeling the warmth of this red light across your skin. You now feel the sand underneath your body and the gentle lapping of the waves. You don't need to open your eyes. This beach feels familiar. The warmth across your skin is just right. You feel completely safe, completely grounded, and completely protected. Notice if you're feeling any resistance in your body. If you're wanting to move or open your eyes or get a sense of where you are, just noticing it. No need to judge it. There's nowhere that you have to be in this moment. In this moment, you simply get to enjoy the warmth across your body and the feeling of safety. And sitting with that word, safety, what does that mean for you? What are you wanting moving forward for yourself and those you love? Safety in health, safety in relationships, safety in community, safety in the world. Allowing any messages or intuitive downloads just to land within your body. Knowing that you can cultivate more of this safety at any time. Your body will always know and always reveal more opportunities and expansion for safety moving forward. Now allow your body to feel light, as if it's floating within midair, fully releasing any stress, tension, judgment, or fear within the body. This allowing your body to float higher and higher and higher. You're completely supported. You don't need to do anything to maintain this beautiful ascension and floating. White light is all around you. You know that a new chapter, a new beginning, a new expansion is coming. Purity of the mind. If there's any beliefs, fears, doubts, constricting mindsets that are currently in your org field, in your life, allow this white light that is currently surrounding you to focus within the top of your head, within your crown chakra. In this current moment, you no longer have to hold on to anything that is unaligned. Even asking yourself, does this belief, this fear, this doubt even make any sense anymore? Does it make sense in this current moment? If you could have anything, does it make sense anymore? Allowing this white, translucent, beautiful light to move through you. Allowing your body to feel lighter and lighter and lighter. Allowing your heart, your mind, and your soul to be open. If there's any other knowledge, sacred wisdom, or intuitive downloads you're wanting to receive, feel free to ask for them now. It may come in the form of words, numbers, symbols, guides, family members. Just being open. Remember, your body, your vessel, your soul already has all the answers. The wisdom that you seek is and will always be available to you. And this divine power from Source is readily available to you at any time as well. And so it is. Slowly coming back to your body. If you're lying down, you can hug your knees to your chest. Give yourself a little rock. If you're seated, you can also give your torso a hug with your arms, extending that love, gratitude, and appreciation, and fostering an inner peace within your body, your mind, and your soul. Okay. As I said before, this was a lot of information. There's a lot of timelines ending, collapsing onto each other. Please take the time to rest. Please take the time to honor and listen to your body, especially this weekend. If you're watching this after the weekend of the eclipse, even moving into November, lots is shifting. Lots is changing. You already know the answers. And if you don't know the answers, this is an opportunity to go even deeper into your body, into the rest, into the feminine. We're talking about the moon. We're talking about Taurus, which is a traditional feminine earth-based sign, to receive the answers in due time. All right. If you have any general questions, you can leave them on this video and I'll do my best to get back to them. And until then, I'm wishing you all a beautiful, expansive, transformative, illuminating lunar eclipse. And I'll talk to you soon, okay? Bye for now.